The starlit market of Zergan 7 was a kaleidoscope of neon lights and alien scents, spices from Andromeda, silk from Vega, and the faint metallic tang of something unidentifiable. Traders shouted their wares in dozens of languages, while shady deals whispered in dark corners. Among this chaos, Kael Voss, a scrappy smuggler with a reputation sharper than his blaster, nursed a debt he could no longer ignore. The Galactic crime lord, Lord Karoon, had warned him weeks ago, "Pay up, or I claim your prize." Kael's prize was not a ship or a stash of credits, but a young alien woman named Lyra. He had won her in a gamble during a smuggling run, a debt settled not with currency but with a living collateral. Kael never intended to keep her. She was supposed to be a bargaining chip. Now, that debt was overdue, and Karoon was coming to collect. Chapter 1: The Claim. Lyra was unlike anyone Kael had ever met. Tall and slender with shimmering violet skin that reflected the Zergan market lights like liquid amethyst, her large eyes held a mix of defiance and sorrow. "Kael Voss," Karoon's voice echoed as he stepped from the shadows, flanked by heavily armed guards. His scarred face twisted into a cruel grin. "You promised me, Lyra. The debt is due." Kael swallowed hard. "I don't want trouble." "Too late," Karoon said. "Lyra belongs to me now." Before Kael could react, Karoon's guards reached for Lyra. But she didn't struggle. Instead, she raised her hand, palm glowing with an eerie blue light. Kael barely dodged the sudden blast of energy that sent Karoon's men sprawling. The crowd gasped, some backing away, others pulling out weapons. "Who are you?" Kael demanded. Lyra's eyes flickered with power. "I am Lyra of the Velari, and I will not be a prize for your debts." Kael stared at her, suddenly realizing this was no ordinary captive. She was something far more dangerous. Chapter 2: The Escape. The moment was chaos. Karoon's guards regrouped and opened fire, but Kael grabbed Lyra's hand. "Run!" They darted through the maze of stalls, weaving past vendors and dodging blaster bolts. Lyra's powers shielded them, an invisible barrier that absorbed the attacks. Kael's ship, the Starlancer, waited nearby. With a final burst of speed, they blasted off from Zergan 7's atmosphere, shaking off their pursuers. Once in hyperspace, Kael glanced at Lyra. "What the hell are you?" "I'm a Velari, a guardian of my people's secrets," she said quietly. "I escaped because they wanted to use me as a tool for war." Kael frowned. "And Karoon?" "He works for the Syndicate," she said. "A corrupt alliance controlling much of the galaxy's trade and war. They want to control Velari power for themselves." Kael's mind raced. This was bigger than any smuggling job or debt. Somehow, Lyra held the key to a galactic struggle. Chapter 3: The Revelation. Days later, as they hid on a remote moon, Lyra revealed her secret. The Velari were the last surviving species of an ancient galactic civilization. Their power was tied to an energy source called the Aether core, an artifact that could control the very fabric of space-time. "The Syndicate wants the Aether core to dominate the galaxy," Lyra explained. "If they succeed, freedom is lost." Kael rubbed his jaw. "And you want me to help stop them?" She nodded. "You claimed me as debt. Now you owe more than credits, you owe the galaxy." Kael wasn't a hero, but the spark in Lyra's eyes ignited something in him. Chapter 4: Allies and Enemies. Kael and Lyra sought allies among the rebel factions scattered across the Outer Rim. They found reluctant support in Captain Myra, a rogue fleet commander with a grudge against the Syndicate. Together, they planned to infiltrate the Syndicate's main base on the industrial planet of Draxus Prime, where the Aether core was hidden. Their journey was fraught with danger, ambushes by Syndicate assassins, betrayal from within the rebel ranks, and encounters with strange alien species affected by the core's energy. But the bond between Kael and Lyra grew stronger. He learned to trust her power, she learned to trust his streetwise cunning. Chapter 5. The Siege of Draxus Prime. The assault on Draxus Prime was fierce. Syndicate forces outnumbered them, and the planet's factories roared with war machines. Kael led a small strike team deep into the heart of the base. Lyra's power was crucial. They bypassed energy fields, disabled security, and confronted Karun himself. In the final showdown, Karun revealed a horrifying truth. He was a cyborg enhanced by the Aether core, nearly invincible. Kael barely survived their fight. It was Lyra's final sacrifice that turned the tide. She channeled the core's power through her body, destabilizing Karun and destroying the Syndicate's hold on the planet. But the energy consumed her, leaving her unconscious. Chapter 6. The New Dawn. Kael cradled Lyra as the rebel fleet claimed victory. The Syndicate's grip on the galaxy was broken, but the cost was great. In a quiet moment aboard the Starlancer, Lyra woke. Her skin shimmered brighter than before, her eyes deep with ancient wisdom. "You saved the galaxy," she whispered. "No," Kael replied, smiling tiredly. "We saved it. Together." With the Syndicate defeated, the galaxy faced a new era. One where old debts were forgiven, new alliances forged, and the mysteries of the Velari began to heal centuries of wounds. Lyra chose to stay with Kael, not as a prize, but as a partner. And together, they would shape the fate of the stars.